Hey everyone, Ranger William here from the Overmountain Victory National Historic Trail, bringing you another part of our series, The Partisans United, Patriot Leaders and the Pursuit of Patrick Ferguson. Now, what we're looking at with this series is who are these guys? Who are the Patriot militia leaders, these kind of backcountry partisan fighters who join together and cooperate and make the Patriot victory possible at Kings Mountain on October 7th, 1780? What experiences and skills are these guys bringing with them as they join on the Overmountain Victory Trail? So, in our first episode, we talked a little bit about where the trail goes, how extensive the system is, all the different jurisdictions these guys were passing through. We've already covered Isaac Shelby, John Sevier, William Campbell, and the McDowell brothers, Charles and Joseph Jr. And for this episode, we're going to look at Benjamin Cleveland. This is an amazing character, very colorful character. I'm excited to get into his story with you. So, we're looking at starting out with his birth. May 26, 1738 is when Benjamin is going to be born, actually near Bull Run Creek in Orange County, Virginia, site of the later battle in the American Civil War. Now, his parents, John Cleveland and Elizabeth Coffey, are English immigrants. So again, adding to kind of the I guess you can call it diversity of the backcountry leaders. They're all kind of from different parts of the British Empire, but they're not all the Scot-Irish that you usually hear so much about. We had Welsh, Irish, English, French Huguenot, and looking at Benjamin here, he's going to be the fourth child of his family, and he's described as growing up very rough, kind of like another famous Virginian that we hear about in the South here, Daniel Morgan. A rough guy, a lot of tavern time, a lot of drinking, a lot of fighting. But when he gets married in 1769 to Mary Graves, it's said that she tended to tame his ways. He kind of calmed down after that. Now, he moves to North Carolina. Just shortly after he marries Mary in 1769, they move down to Wilkes County, North Carolina, the banks of the Yadkin River, roughly kind of about 15 miles from today's Wilkesboro, North Carolina. And due to the way the river flowed around his property, he nicknames it the Roundabout. Now, it's a very successful property. He does very well for himself, becomes fairly prominent, but he still likes to go out on adventures. One of the most famous ones is in 1772. He actually accompanies one of his kind of neighbors there in the Yadkin River area, Daniel Boone, accompanies him on a hunting trip over across the Blue Ridge Mountains. Just a couple other guys go with them, and they actually run into a Cherokee hunting party who are not happy that these guys are illegally hunting in their territory. So they take all their horses. And the story goes that later on, after Cleveland has returned home, he goes back and he gets the horse back. We don't know how he does it, if he steals the horse back, if he trades for it, if he gets someone to help him. There's a variety of stories out there about this legend. But either way, very big adventurer, and he likes his horses, as we'll see later on. Now, when the revolution begins in 1775, you're going to see Benjamin Cleveland kind of makes a decision. He is approached and offered a commission as an ensign in the 2nd North Carolina Continental Regiment, but he turns down the commission. He refuses that rank. An ensign at this time, think of it today, kind of like a second lieutenant. It's kind of a junior officer there in the Continentals. He prefers to stay in his home county and defend his home with the militia rather than service away with the Continentals. So he becomes a lieutenant in the Surrey County Militia. He's going to stay this way through 1776 under Colonel Armstrong of that regiment. His forces are going to be sent out to eastern North Carolina to assist with the kind of the pacification of the Scottish loyalists out in eastern North Carolina. He does not get there in time for the famous battle at Moores Creek Bridge in February of 76, but just afterwards, and his guys take part in kind of the we'll call it the mopping up operation, kind of pursuing following up the Patriot victory, pursuing the defeated Scottish loyalists, and making sure that they are truly pacified by the Patriot forces there. The rest of 1776 and 1777, he's going to be spent with a ranging company on the Cherokee Campaign and the Cherokee frontier. So service all the way out on the western side of the colony in the Blue Ridge Mountains. Again, still with the Surrey County Regiment. We've mentioned Wilkes County a little bit. That has not yet been created. It's not going to be created until 1778. Yep. 1778. So you get him in the Surrey County Regiment, including going all the way over to Washington County, North Carolina, Isaac Shelby's stomping grounds, and he's going to be part of the garrison at Fort Carter. In fact, I believe this is Cleveland and his guys. They talk about arriving at an old, dilapidated fort and rebuilding a new one, but using some of the pieces from old Fort Carter. So they put that together. They're going to be kind of a garrison out there on the Cherokee frontier. And they're going to be out there until that summer, July of 1777. They're going to come back into Surrey County. So 1778, you get the creation finally of Wilkes County, North Carolina, and you're going to see him be a major advocate for that. And as such, you're going to see him get a promotion. He's going to become the colonel of Wilkes County, also the head of the Commission of Justices. So kind of a twofold military and political position here. Now, as such, he is going to make it a big mission of his to keep down, I guess you could call it domestic insurrection. He wants to keep the loyalists in his region from being able to gather, travel, mobilize, and assist the British in any way. And he's so heavy-handed in this that you end up with him getting the nickname the Terror of the Tories. He is possibly involved in executing and hanging more loyalists than any one partisan leader here in the South. So quite a title here. In fact, there's at one point in 1779 or 1780, details are a little fuzzy, but some of his men actually capture and execute two loyalists, John Brown and James Coyle, with no real evidence of a trial. And it's because of this, he's actually brought up on charges to the state government, and he's pardoned. He's cleared of any wrongdoing. But when the time finally comes to organize the militia, to get these guys together and go after Patrick Ferguson, this is definitely the guy that you want to reach out to. He knows what he's doing. He's just spent all summer assisting William Campbell and kind of making these patrols, keeping the loyalists from mobilizing. Now here's their chance to strike a real blow at the British Army. So he's going to be involved with that. So we're going to skip over Kings Mountain. He's involved down there. We'll talk about that in some other programs. 1781, you're going to see him take part in the race to the Dan. This is when you have General Nathaniel Greene's army being pursued by Lord Cornwallis and the British all the way through North Carolina to the Dan River at the Virginia border. And Cleveland is not going to be with Greene's army, but he's going to be hanging on the back edges of the British, really kind of picking at them, trying to keep the foraging parties from getting any food, keep any loyalists from being able to gather and join up with Lord Cornwallis. This is going to be what Cleveland excels at, kind of terrorizing the local loyalists, keeping them from being able to mobilize. However, he does get a target on his back because of this. April 15th, he is actually captured by some loyalists. Last name of Riddle. Is going to capture Cleveland, and they're going to try, and a pretty crafty move, they're going to try and make Cleveland sign passes for them, saying that they're patriots, giving them safe conduct so they can escape to a safe British-held territory. However, his guys hear about this, they rescue their leader, and later on, he's actually going to capture Bill Riddle and some of his guys, and he's going to execute them from the Tory Oak. This large hanging tree in Wilkes County, North Carolina. That's going to be in 1781. Now, at the end of the war, you see Cleveland fall on some rough circumstances. He actually loses the claim to his land there in Wilkes County. There was another land grant, another survey that had a little more better documentation, better paperwork. So he loses the claim to his property and he relocates. He moves down to Upper South Carolina, part of the new territory that's been opened up after the Revolution, and he serves as a commissioner there in the Pendleton district after the war. Now, he does rename his home Old Roundabout. He's kind of infamous for gaining a lot of weight after the war, up to about 400 plus pounds. So the nickname Old Roundabout was used to describe him as well as his property. And there's a great story I heard where he used to sit on his porch and yell out to people as they traveled down the road. Someone started to yell and just give it right back to him. And Cleveland was so impressed by this guy that he then called him over and they had a little bit of socializing together there on the front porch. Um, but he's going to pass away of heart dropsy on October 15th, 1806, leaving behind two sons and a daughter. And this is going to be by then it's going to be Oconee County, South Carolina at 68 years old. So his legacy lives on today. You do have Cleveland County, North Carolina, Cleveland, Tennessee, both named after him. But that's a little bit of the background of Benjamin Cleveland, the terror of the Tories, old roundabout, and who this guy was at the Battle of Kings Mountain. One of my favorite parts here, you got this nice little picture that we featured by Don Troiani, Cleveland's prize. He does get one of Patrick Ferguson's famous horses. He's going to have this with him, and the horse was noted to live to an uncommon old age. So there you have Cleveland knowing his horses and really caring a lot about them. So that's a little bit about him. I hope you guys enjoyed learning about it. Again, this is the Partisans United series. So you can check out the other episodes, learn a little bit more about the other militia leaders, who they were at the time of Kings Mountain, and how they really brought their techniques together. So I hope you enjoyed, and thanks for watching.